What's up, everybody? It's the Welcome to the Show, CT. Dime, babe.
What's up?
What up, dog?
Can you hear me?
Absolutely.
That's good to know, man.
So this is like day I lost count. The other day, I thought it was Friday. It was really Saturday. Who knows anymore, man?
What can we do? Yesterday it was announced that we're looking at another 30 days
At least.
of this social distancing. So you guess you can add another month to baseball activities as well. Another month of all other sports not starting up or ramping up activities. I don't know what to think, man. I know basketball players must be keeping themselves in shape, but you can't really simulate what a season is like on any sport. Like, you can't simulate that stuff in practice. So it's like when things start coming back, baseball hasn't started yet, so it's like the beginning will be the beginning. But for the NBA season, man, do they just kind of throw this season away and start it have like a little preseason, just start the playoffs when time comes?
I mean, I feel like that's what the NBA should definitely do. In terms of baseball, I've seen players get creative with their training. I saw Vladdy Jr. playing Vitilla and DR in his backyard. Joey Gallo was taking BP in his apartment. Goes to show how much money guys like Joey Gallo makes. You saw Garrett Cole throwing with his wife the other day. God bless you, man. God bless you.
I try to hold that sneeze in so hard, man.
So should I be concerned?
Nah, I try to hold all my sneezes in so that no snot rockets come out. So you said Garrett Cole playing catch with his wife the other day, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That isn't really, it's whatever. When people are like, "Oh yeah, my girls that play catch," I don't know, man. It's whatever to me.
If it were, let's say, Xander Bogaerts' wife, would you think differently? Is he married? I don't even know if he's married.
I don't know.
If it was Chris Sale and his wife, would you be like,
nah,
oh,
man.
Yeah.
I think I'm more attracted to a girl that enjoys baseball, and if she can play catch, cool. If she can't, again, it's like a toss-up for me. It doesn't do anything for me. Right. I don't know.
I just want to let the audience know, whoever's viewing this out there in the world on YouTube, I'm looking down here every once in a while because CT's face for me is right here. So it's not that I'm ignoring you. It's that I want to look at this man's beautiful face. What are you going to do? When I talk to someone, I like making eye contact. And right now, when I talk to the camera, I'm talking to myself, and it's very awkward. But when I talk to CT, I'm not looking at the camera. So there's a problem, but it's okay. We're going to get through this together, guys.
And I guess for me, I have to look kind of slightly up, but Manny's face is right in front of me, so
I see.
There's a difference.
Okay,
yeah.
It's one of those kinks that we have to work out.
And I just want to say something for what I said before.
Yeah,
if a girl can play catch and throw a baseball, cool. My whole thing is just it's not this like
doesn't do anything for you.
Yeah, it doesn't do it. It doesn't do anything for me. Fan of the sport of baseball is good.
Okay, all right. I mean. Yeah. Everybody has, their preferences, and you don't like a girl that handles balls every once in a while. So that's fine. That's okay.
Yeah, hey, I can't be the only one out there, man. Someone has to back me up on this.
All right. So what has happened since the last time we talked? The MLB and the Players Association came to an agreement where I guess the owners have agreed to pay the players $170 million in advance in case the season isn't going to get played, and that's going to get doled out to the highest paid players too, from my understanding. The other thing that came out was that MLB is floating the idea of potentially expanding the postseason for this year if the season is shortened. What do you think about an expansion of the postseason?
Yeah, I think whatever you can save or salvage out of this season, I'm for it.
Yeah.
I think that no matter what happens, something's getting lost in this season. We're either going to have a shortened, amount of games, a longer version of the playoffs, maybe some stadiums won't even get visited this year, So whatever we can do to get some baseball, man, I'm good for it. Yeah. I'm good with it.
And it sounds like with the government expanding the social distancing requirements for another 30 days, The soonest that we could probably have baseball is probably June, because if we're socially distancing until May 1st, I think it was, I can't remember which GM it was. Might have been Friedman from the Dodgers, said that his players need 4 weeks to get ready. So if there's like a shortened 4-week spring training, we're talking June 1st, the start of the season. You have June, July, August, September. That's 4 months of baseball. The players have agreed that they're willing to play a doubleheader every week. Maybe you do something where the second game is shortened as a 7-inning game or something like that. I don't know, to lessen the stress. Maybe I don't know. Maybe you don't implement those new rules that you were trying to implement this year because you don't want that to be a problem, to be that learning process. Sometimes it takes a little while. Like when they started instant replay, I don't know if you remember this, but they would take a long ass time to review the plays.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's going to be a tough situation. I think that they're going to try to get baseball back because people are desperate for it. And the only problem that we're going to come across is if at some point the season does return, the NBA is going to be returning around the same time. You have MLB returning. You have golf. You have football will be right around the corner. Yeah, the draft, all that stuff. There's going to be so much content out there. And I'm wondering if people are going to be so tired of being holed up in their houses that they're just going to be out and, I mean, I'll be watching. I love baseball.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be watching. I was wondering if they're not able to pay these players' salaries for the year, and then this money is guaranteed when they finally, let's say, it gets spread out across the rest of their career. Like let's say Giancarlo Stanton's year for this year, he makes what, like 30 mil?
I think he makes less. Like I think because it's prorated, like he makes more later on in the contract.
Yeah, all right. So that money that he's owed this year, that he's not going to get all of it this year. The rest of it, does he get it at the end of his contract? Does he get it spread out for the rest of the years? Does he get it next year? And if so, does that impact like the team salary? Like
I think that if you don't play, you don't get paid. So I don't think that's why they agreed to that $170 million upfront money, and then if they play, then the rest of it gets prorated into that.
Well, let's just paint a scenario where there's no baseball this season, right?
Mm-hmm.
Technically, they didn't lose a contract year, so they're owed that contract year, so they'll play that year. But then does that mean that Max Scherzer's a year older? Does the team have to stay with him an extra year where they probably weren't planning on? And if so, then I mean his money is deferred anyways. But in Giancarlo Stanton's case, is he on the Yankees for the rest of the years on his contract, or is he on the Yankees for the rest of the years that the age was supposed to be? And if he's owed that money, do they spread it out across the rest of his years? Do they give it to him in the next year? Do they give it to him at the end? Do they defer it? How would all this extra owed money impact the team's salary cap?
I think that if Giancarlo Stanton was set to expire when he's like 35. I'm not sure. I don't have the numbers in front of me. I think that's when it's going to expire. I think that he's going to get credit for service time, but he's not going to get the money for it because he didn't play. And I think they're doing that because of guys like Mookie Betts, who were set to become free agents next year. If they don't play, they're not going to hold him back one more year because he would have, I would have.
Definitely, yeah.
Caused a scene. I would have fucking been like, give me my this isn't fair. You know what I mean?
But see, then I'm thinking like when it comes to injury, it's one thing. They're still owed the money or insurance covers it or whatever. But in this case, you're paying Giancarlo Stanton for a season. And if it's a shortened season, I feel kind of like the owners or the people writing the checks would feel like, well, we just paid this guy his value of what we agreed upon for a 162 game season. And he's only playing 80 games this season. So where do I get my 80 games back? Where do I get that money back?
I think it's because nobody's making money right now. That nobody gets paid. You know what I mean?
No, I get that, but it's guaranteed money. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, who loses in the salary? Because either the player's gonna make the same amount of money for less games, or not that much money because he didn't play the full extent of a season.
Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, somebody's losing. Somebody's going to lose.
Somebody's going to lose. So, like, if Giancarlo said to pay him $30 million for this season and his contract is worth $300 million and they don't play, he's only going to get paid $270 million. Or he's going to get a cut of that $170 million that they agreed on for everybody.
Unless there's like some clause in the contract somewhere, like barring a pandemic, you're not gonna do this.
There is something out there. I don't know what it's called, but it's like an act of God clause or something. Like if there's a hurricane or or a tornado and it tears up the stadium and you can't play the season, the team can exercise a clause in everybody's contract where they don't get paid. But I think it would look bad, and I think that the teams aren't going to take that kind of risk because the season is likely it should be able to start at some point. Hopefully this doesn't get worse, which it is going to get worse. But I mean, hopefully it doesn't get to the point where like we're socially distancing for fucking 2 years. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that'd be nuts.
Yeah, your face says it all, CT. The guys that I feel sorry for.
Is that what you're saying?
No. You just look like I need to get the fuck out of this house already, man.
I have hair growing in my neck down to here that I haven't had that in years. See that?
Barbers are gonna be overwhelmed when shit opens back up, man.
Yeah,
we're gonna have some crazy looking people.
I'm gonna give a crack at giving myself a haircut a couple times before I go out to the barbershop. If I'm here, if I'm going out anyways.
I'm just gonna continue wearing hats. Luckily, I got a haircut right before this all took place, and it hasn't gotten crazy yet. But I'm just gonna keep wearing hats and
nice,
and let my wife do my little fake shape up because I don't have lines or anything. I just fucking get the ugly hairs out of the way. That's it. The people that I feel sorry for in this whole scenario is minor leaguers, because before the season started, Rob Manfred was talking about closing down a whole bunch of minor league teams. That's A. B, they don't get paid that much money to do this, and this is their only chance to try to make it somewhere, and that's all being taken away right now. Like, you have those, like the Yankees have a catching minor leaguer. Can't remember what his name is. It's slipping my mind right now, but he's like 39 years old, and he's set to be like the third backup guy. If Gary Sanchez gets hurt and Higashioka, for example, gets hurt, this guy's only chance to make it to the show was this year, and it may not happen for him. So I feel bad for guys like that. The guys that make a ton of money, Giancarlo Stanton, like you said, I don't really feel so bad. They make enough money. They're fine. If anything, I feel bad for us that we're not getting to see them play, if anything. But yeah, man, this is crazy.
The fact that some of that money's going to the higher paid players too, I also feel like they should just maybe.
I wouldn't accept it personally. I think I would donate it to like a minor league fund or something. Or
yeah. Like
I wouldn't accept it. If you're Mike Trout making $40 million a year, you can't accept that money.
if you're Trout that made $40 million last year or whatever it was, if you're someone that made $10 million last year, probably shouldn't be taking that money. And if you need that money, then you need to hire yourself like a financial advisor. Talk to me.
Here it is, CT. You need to hire. You ready for it? Alex Rodriguez.
Exactly.
There he is, mentioned.
We need a sound. We need some sort of sound drop, something that when A-Rod gets mentioned on this podcast, a little ticker says like ding, like check.
Or maybe like some glorious sound effect, like a harp or something. Every time you mention Alex Rodriguez.
Like the sound of God waking up in the morning is what we should. We should try to capture that sound. Him waking up to a good spring morning where baseball's on. It's a Sunday morning, God's day, his day that he took off for rest.
Good morning, Earthlings. It's me, God.
Ah, man, I love A-Rod. I noticed that he, I think he interviewed somebody the other day.
Yeah, Robinson Cano.
Yeah, man, I missed it, but.
The dynamic duo, man. Back in the day, third base, second base.
Yeah. Could have played shortstop. Both of them could have played shortstop.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, man.
Derek Jeter's great, though. What else? Let's see what else is happening in the world of sports.
Let me look at some A-Rod stats while you Alex Rodriguez.
MLB and Fanatics are using jersey fabric to make hospital gowns and face masks for hospitals. Good shit on baseball for doing that. Baseball did something really cool the other day. I forgot about that. March 27th, opening day, they did opening day at home, and they aired a whole bunch of top-rated games. And I don't know if you saw this, but they aired Astros-Nats Game 7, and people were live tweeting it, and they were bashing the shit out of the Astros. That team, I don't think people are gonna ever forget. Like a lot of people seem to think, and I did for a while, that the Astros are benefiting from this hiatus. When baseball is back in session, the only way they're gonna benefit from any of this is if baseball starts playing in empty stadiums. Because if they're playing in full stadiums, people are not gonna forget. They're waiting to go after the Astros.
I saw someone, I forget who I was speaking to. They asked, like, you think people are still gonna be mad at the Astros when baseball comes back? And I'm like, I think the Astros are gonna save baseball. Like, the team that ruined baseball for the last 2 seasons because of their cheating habits is gonna save baseball, because if anything, that's all everybody's gonna rally around.
Yep.
It's just gonna be like the greatest coming together of baseball fans, minus Astros fans. Sorry for them. But is Texas even hit hard by this coronavirus stuff? I think they're holding up pretty good, right?
I'm not sure. I know that New York City is like the hot spot. Then you have
they're the worst. Yeah, it's
Detroit,
the worst
Michigan, and I think New Orleans is getting hit hard too.
Yeah,
but it's gonna hit everybody eventually. It's just a matter of time.
Well, but it's just crazy that this team is everyone's hatred towards that team is going to save baseball, because even whether it's by ratings, with all the other stuff that's going to be going on when it finally does come back, it can be next year. We can literally take a season off. Everyone is still going to make it count when the Astros are in town. It might even span, as long as Alex Bregman is wearing a uniform somewhere, he might be booed for the rest of his life. I don't know.
Speaking of Bregman, I haven't seen too much from him on Twitter anymore since this whole thing happened.
Yeah, man. See, I think guys like Altuve will eventually overcome, but if you're a guy like Bregman whose image was kind of being cocky and everything, like, you're probably going to own that for the rest of your career.
Truth.
Yeah. Anyways.
So I know that Japanese baseball is set to kick off and Korean baseball. If we don't have baseball for a while here, why not just fucking start airing NPB games and Korean baseball games? I'd watch it. There's major Adam Jones is playing in Japan now. You have guys like Justin Bohr out there. You have decent baseball players out there. Fuck it. I'll watch the Japanese baseball game.
I'll watch it, but it won't be the same.
It won't be the same, but I think you'll see recognizable faces. It's different.
It's about fantasy, man. Like, I need my guys to go out there, and I need to tally up the points and feel like I won something that day.
I did. I'm sorry I did this to you, man.
Yeah, man. It was 5 years ago when Manny asked me to join a fantasy baseball league, and I was skeptical at first. We played for no money, and it was great, man. It drove me crazy, but it was great, and we've been in it since. And this was going to be a very special season because of the whole Astros thing, and now we don't even get to put these guys to the test.
Yeah, man.
So,
and I remember after that first season, you were hell bent on not doing it again for a second.
Yeah,
season.
I was like, screw this, man. This is not worth the stress. It's only because I made it to the last, the final game and lost. But yeah, I really at that point I didn't want to do it again. I was like, man, this was. Because I don't know if you remember, but I spent a good chunk of the last month in August or so, August or September, begging one of our members to give me his players, and I was offering him trades. I don't know if you remember this.
I do remember. Joey? Yeah,
and it never – he ended up just giving it away to our cousin for nothing when I was offering him trades, and I was offering him, like, I forget what else I offered him. Probably something beyond fantasy baseball, like, hey, man, I'll pick you up from school or something. Like, I don't know, I'll take you to, I'll take you to the library when you got to go or something, whatever.
I'll do your laundry.
But laundry, all that shit. Never answered a text, never answered an email.
And then one day,
he just gave those players away to my cousin, and that's the stress that I had to go through that first season.
That first season was something else, to say the least. Yeah. But since then, the league has grown, and it's almost too serious now, to the point where enemies are made, and and family relationships are tarnished forever.
Yeah, I don't even see Manny anymore, man. Like, we used to hang out all the time.
I moved the fuck out of there as soon as we started. I was like, fuck it. I'm going to Lancaster, Pennsylvania. All right. Have you watched Tiger King yet?
Yes, I finished watching it.
I need your thoughts, man.
I think Carol whatever.
Uh-huh.
Carol Babbitts. What was her name?
Sure, I'll take it. The crazy lady.
The cat lady.
The cat lady.
Rescue. Big cat rescue.
Do you think she killed her husband?
I think she's the most guilty person in the whole thing. The most guilty person in the whole thing. Because
oh, man.
It's funny how she came out on top and she had all the money to throw away to beat the cases.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying Joe Exotic is innocent because they have him on tape saying that he wanted to kill her.
He's a moron. He did himself in.
Yeah. But that guy's an idiot.
Yeah.
She, to me, is just, she's not an idiot, but she's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? She's like insane. I feel like there's something wrong with her. The way that she'd spoken to the camera made me think that there was something wrong with her, only to find out that she had all this fortune to use and that she's been using it to fight the whole thing. But she has cats in cages.
Exactly. When she was talking about cats in cages and then she has her own cats in cages, I was like,
when I saw that she had cats in cages, I was like, I don't get it. And then I really didn't. I didn't understand. Every episode was a different story.
Yeah, she branded herself as a cat rescue person, and Joe Exotic was an attention whore. He was a fucking country singer. He would put on performances for people. She'd be shooting fucking dummies with her face on it. Like he just did everything the wrong way, and he got involved with the wrong people. And for me, my biggest takeaway was, it's just crazy that this type of world exists out there, and that people. There was one point where this guy was he built Joe Exotic like a studio or something, and he said that Joe Exotic only paid him like $30,000, even though it was probably worth like $400,000. But he didn't care because he gets to pet the tigers. I'm like, what the fuck? In what world do you want to pet tigers like that badly? You know what I mean?
And in that same breath, the women that are all sleeping with these guys because they get to pet tigers. I'm like, are you kidding me, man? Like, I can't believe this. Both of them, Joe Exotic was gay and the other guy wasn't. I forget his name. The other big cat guy.
And he had multiple wives and shit.
Multiple wives, and they were getting paid like $100 a month or $100 a week for labor. And then you got the Carol lady who was making people volunteer for work. So not only does she have cats in cages, people are working for her for free. And on top of that, she's the one that has technically the most money. Because it didn't look like Joe Exotic had that much money, but it's crazy how people like this actually made a living, made thousands of millions of dollars.
Oh my god!
But yeah, man, I don't understand all these women that were willing to sleep with these people. Like,
and how about Joe Exotic's husbands? Like
weirdos, man. A bunch of
some of these guys were like, like decent looking people, younger, and they're with this weird mullet having crazy guy who it's not. Did you notice when he was singing the country songs? That's not really his voice. That's not even him singing.
I didn't notice that.
I was like, yo, this is not him. So my wife looked it up, and it wasn't. Somebody else sings for him, and he lip syncs over their voices. Those cuts to the music videos, oh my god,
were so funny. It reminded me, I don't know why, it kind of reminded me of the Screwball documentary that we interviewed the guys for.
Yeah.
It kind of reminded me a little bit of that, like the joke behind it. Like it was a serious story, but there was like a kind of like a funny.
But I think he was serious. I think he really. No,
he was serious. He was serious. But whoever directed,
I thought it was a joke at first, but this is real.
Whoever directed and edited the whole thing knew what they were doing when they at the timing of those music videos. And then this is why I think that Carol lady is insane, because her music video that she paid for was weird as shit.
Yeah.
It was like so random. Like it was really weird, man. I'm telling you.
Oh man.
I was mostly found it funny towards, except for the spoiler alert, the one guy that committed suicide, and then the lady that lost her hand. Yeah. But again, these people were working for like $130,000.
And she went back. She defended Joe Exotic, and then she went back to continue working for him, like days after she lost her hand.
Are we just spoiled here up in the north, man? Are
I
we
don't
like?
know, man.
I think we're spoiled, man. I think we have no idea what it's like in Middle America or wherever the hell they were, Florida, whatever state they were in, because for people to be that passionate about that, and then that one guy wasn't even getting paid. I think his payment was being able to get leftover meat off that truck.
Oh, right.
So yeah, man, I don't know.
Oh my God.
I think all those guys were meth heads, man, and they were getting paid in meth.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
It's really
I feel bad
crazy.
for them, but
I couldn't believe it. And the genius thing about Netflix is that they don't announce that this shit is coming out. But when you tune to Netflix, it's the first thing you see. And I remember, I think my wife and I were about to start watching. We've been watching Schitt's Creek, which is really good on Netflix. And I saw the ad for it, and I was like, we have to watch this shit. This looks fucking crazy. And the first episode hooked immediately. Like,
Tiger King.
the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life, Tiger King. It has to be the craziest documentary I've ever seen. I can't think of another one. Maybe crazier circumstances has happened in other documentaries, but just the cast of characters and just how, like, I had no idea that cats made grown ass men turn into a bunch of little bitches and turned and made women want to just give it up. Like, here you go, you can have it.
I think that was the most surprising thing for me. One was finding out what these people were making. Two, finding out all the women that were dropping panties for these things. Three, the fact that every big cat enthusiast in that show was batshit crazy on some level. Whether you're the guy that had 8 wives, whether you're the guy that wanted to hire a gun to kill someone, whether you're the lady that, you know, I honestly think she was the biggest. I think she definitely killed her husband, by the way.
I think she might have to.
The fact that, and I gotta be honest with you. Once I watched it, I did no further research. I took it for what it was. Whatever they put in that Netflix documentary, I took that as the end all be all. So I don't really know if that's an undiscovered case or if they made her look worse than she was. But the fact that thing never got resolved and she had somebody like change up the will last minute and all that stuff. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious she was involved in some way or another.
Apparently, there's a podcast about it that came out like 5 or 6 years ago. I never listened to it, but I was on Twitter the other day, and the guy who made the podcast posted, I did a podcast about this, an in-depth look into it about 6 years ago, and it has more information into it. And I've been meaning to listen to it because I need to know more. Like, this is like a drug right now. Maybe the tigers are getting to me. But yeah, there is a podcast out there that has more information apparently.
Yeah, and by the way, I do think tigers and lions, all that, I think they're amazing creatures. Like, they are.
No way I'm touching them though, ever.
No, I would not be. Like, when the part where he got bit in the leg and dragged by that one tiger.
Yeah,
it was kind of sad, honestly. Like, when I think about it, because that guy's like a kind of a loser. The way that they started painting him towards the end, and the fact that everybody testified against him towards the end as well. But it was also kind of funny how, like, he was just getting dragged by this tiger.
I didn't even know that people collected tigers in this country.
I knew that.
Like, they're selling, they were selling these tigers.
Yeah,
like, there's more tigers in the United States than there is in the world or something.
Yeah, it was some crazy stat like that. Who do you think burnt down the alligator house? I think it was Joe Exotic.
I think it was Joe Exotic too.
Yeah. Yep.
Crazy. It's insane. It's really crazy. What else? I started rewatching The Wire, and I'm ready to proclaim it the greatest show of all time. That show's so fucking good. My God. You got to rewatch. You got to watch. I mean, you never watched it, right?
I got to watch it. I should have watched it when we had HBO Go, but we don't have that no more.
So good, man.
Yeah,
So
I'll try to figure out a way to,
So,
watch.
How many times have you left the house since the coronavirus outbreak?
I'm gonna go by when my company urged people to work from home, which was exactly 2 weeks ago. Friday. So, all right, Friday, 2 weeks before that. So 2 Fridays before last Friday. Since then, I've left the house. We had a scrimmage that weekend. Then I left the house. Literally, I'm counting it. Scrimmage. Bought this PC that I have in my room right now. left another time to buy a webcam that I'm using right now, and I think I left like two more times to go grocery shopping or something.
Yeah.
That's it. Like maybe 5 times, 6 times.
Same here. I think I went when they announced that they were closing liquor stores. I went to the liquor store, and I've been food shopping 2 or 3 times too. But other than that, we go for walks around the neighborhood, stay in the backyard. That's about it. This is insane, man. The times that we're living in are just bananas. And
It's like
yeah,
we all knew the world is, and again, I think it's just something with age. Like I think every generation goes through where they look at the younger generation, think like, oh, this is getting out of hand, this is crazy. Or you look at the older generation, you think to yourself like, wow, these people are so like out of touch and everything like that. But like I don't think anyone could ever imagine having this, and the fact that people are still taking it lightly, like kind of like wanting to prove others that this is a hoax or this is like a lie or this is overreacting, like that's why we're gonna end up being on lockdown
for a
because
long ass time.
When there's no other way to contain it, they're gonna have to force us to contain ourselves, like in our house,
Right.
in our homes.
Yeah.
So I think one of the most shocking things is that people are still, pushing their limits with this and not being responsible enough to like quarantine themselves. Like people are throwing block parties. People want to have parties. People want to get together. People want to visit each other.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's one of the most alarming things as well.
Like it's hard. It's hard when you're stuck at home and you're told that you can't leave. Like there's times where I don't see my parents for a month or 2 months, and those times I don't really think about it so much. In a time like this, that I know I can't go see them, it's like worse for some reason. But you gotta fucking do what you gotta do, and you stay home because this shit is never gonna end. I mean, if we continue at this rate, we're gonna be in social lockdown for fucking months. You know what I mean? And if we all just make like China and quarantine in our houses and are forced not to leave the house, restrictions could start being implemented within like a month or so. You know what I mean? And it won't be so bad. But people just don't. You're right. You're absolutely right. I see that some posts people are putting on social media was nice on someday this weekend. I can't remember where it was in New York. I think it was Peter Rosenberg actually, from ESPN Radio and Hot 97, and he took a video of outside of his apartment building, and people are congregating all over the basketball courts, and I'm like, what the fuck, people? Like, just stay the fuck home, man.
And the thing that sucks is like we last time we recorded, I think we said that it's actually kind of good that we're able to stay home and the weather's nice. The weather's only going to keep getting nicer, and people aren't going to go out even more. I feel like they're going to feel like, maybe they're not congregating together, but they're at least going to be going out more, maybe by themselves to the park. Before you know it, things are going to be kind of normal. I guess in China, they forced people to stay in. Like, they patrol the streets and force people to stay in.
It's a communist country, yeah.
Yeah, I don't
want that here.
I don't want that here either, man.
But let me ask you something. If
it worked, though, didn't it?
It did work. So we're the United States of America. We're a free society. We're a democracy. This and that. Should we let the people decide? Like if the majority of the people say, "Fuck it, let it just take its toll on us. We want to live our lives. We want to be free." Should government just say, "Okay, fine, then just be outside then"?
You're saying that should we, the people, have the right to leave our house, or
nobody's taking away your right to not leave your house, by the way. If you leave your house today and start congregating with somebody, you might get the cops come and tell you to go home or whatever. I don't think they're going to arrest you or anything. I might be wrong on that, but
you're saying like have the right, give the government the right to contain us.
No, I'm saying would you prefer that they didn't even tell us what to do? Like,
I don't know how to answer.
If we're truly free, right? And I'm sounding like that I believe in this, and I don't. If anything, I'm almost at a point now where I think the government should say, if you're not home, we're going to have to lock your ass up because this shit is never going to end. But we are a democracy, and we're built upon the idea and the concept that we have free will and we could do whatever we want. I mean, you can't go and kill somebody or whatever, but should you be allowed to leave your house if you want to and not be bothered for it and say, fuck it, I'm free. I want to be out here. If I have coronavirus, fuck it. If I die, fuck it. It's my choice.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I think that I don't think there's a right answer, because on the one hand, I wouldn't like policemen or the army to be outside of our door, and if we step outside, they have the right to put a bullet in us or take us to jail.
Which, by the way, apparently they're doing that in DR. They're imposing strict curfews, and they're arresting people if they're out in the streets. Yeah, my friend in the Dominican Republic, who I spoke to earlier, said that if you're out in the street past 8, they'll lock you up. Yeah, past 8. Which I don't even understand that rule, to be honest.
Me neither. I don't get it.
Like the coronavirus doesn't, it's not like it's 8 o'clock now, time to start infecting some people.
Yeah. So I don't know, but back to what you were saying before. So I don't want the government to have the ability to big brother us and keep us in lockdown and monitor our every moves. But on the other hand, this thing is so contagious, and people themselves aren't being responsible enough to do it themselves. So if that day ever came, I feel like the people that are already taking the right precautions will be okay. People that aren't will be the ones to suffer. That's not going to be me, because I felt like I've done my part in keeping myself socially distant.
Right.
So I don't think there's a right answer, but I can't ignore the fact that it worked in China.
Yeah.
And that here we are in a worse state, and we might end up in a worse state. So no, I don't want it to be that way, but I also can't ignore that it worked.
We have the most cases in the world in the United States already.
Yeah, and it's messed up, because you look at any communist country, they have positives, but the biggest negative is that, the negatives are always going to be there, the biggest negatives. But they might have, like, who knows, like education might be through the roof or something. They might have like the best healthcare system or some shit. I don't know. But at the end of the day, no, I wouldn't sacrifice my freedom for that. Then again, it worked.
Yeah.
In China.
And the thing too is, I think part of the problem too is that when this all started, the initial belief was that the elderly were the people that were mostly at risk, and that's not necessarily the case. The age range, I'm not sure off the top of my head. I'm sorry, I don't have the information right in front of me, but it's younger than what was normally anticipated, and it's mostly male. In every data point that you've seen to this point, males are more at risk, and it's a younger age group. So if you don't think that you can be impacted by this, you can be. And if you still feel the need to go out and congregate and share a fucking hookah and shit, stop, because we gotta stop this shit. I need to get the fuck out of this house already, people. All right?
Yeah. It's your fault. It's your fault, America.
I blame you, America.
All you guys had to do was
stay home. Easiest thing you've ever been asked to do in your entire life, people, is stay the fuck home.
Keep it shut. Keep it shut for 2 weeks.
And by the way, if there is a time that you want to be locked up at home, now's the time. You have Netflix, you have Hulu, you have everything you need at your fingertips to be fucking entertained. I would give anything. I have 2 young girls right now, so I can't really, there's not much time where I can spend just doing whatever the fuck I want, but I would give anything to have a little bit more freedom, so I could just lay on my fucking bed and watch TV all fucking day. So
yeah, man.
So please do it for me, all right?
For those of you that are, that have the free time, do something that is random. Like, I started 2 YouTube channels in the last 2 days. Like, I might only upload that one video, but it's there. I mean, pick up a hobby, an instrument, grow your beard hair out. If you're a girl, do it too. Like,
yeah, fuck it. Nuts. Let's see how far it can go, man.
Do some, like, dye your hair. I don't know.
I need to know about this YouTube channel. What is it? Talk to us, man.
Oh man, let's see here. I started a gaming channel, so I started
Twitch.
First of all, I think the universe knows what it's doing, man, because I tried to get away from video games over the last year.
Yeah.
And then I ended up buying MLB The Show, pre-ordered it before it came out. So I'm hooked. I play a lot of that. There's a free version of Call of Duty that I'm playing a lot right now. Video games are life training, man. And I figured if I'm going to be playing video games, I might as well, try to stream, maybe catch an audience. So, yeah. And another video that I started is I uploaded a video of me playing my bass guitar back there.
A slap at the bass, man.
Yeah, man. Pretty good. Finally proud that I was able to do that. But again, this is because of the quarantine.
Yeah.
So,
do it, man. You got to do what you got to do.
Yep.
My daughter is starting to understand how shows are made and stuff, which makes me very proud because my dream is to be a filmmaker or whatever, write stuff. And she wrote a show yesterday, and she drew little pictures in it. They're not great or anything, but we made a little TV show for her, and I'm gonna start a YouTube channel with her. Keep her busy. It keeps me busy. And she's starting to understand how things work a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Because for a while she thought that the cartoons were real. Like there's a world out there with cartoon people.
I don't think I ever thought that. I'm trying to think. Like
you knew from the start. You knew from the start that somebody was drawing and doing voiceovers.
I don't remember having a thought where I thought they were real. Maybe like until I saw Space Jam, I was like, holy shit.
So you're calling my daughter a fucking moron, basically.
No, I'm saying her imagination is way better than mine, is what I'm saying.
Okay, I got you.
That's what I'm saying.
She does have a pretty good imagination.
Listen, I don't want to brag, but I read One Fish, Two Fish.
Red Fish, Blue Fish. Classic.
When I was in kindergarten, I was the first one to learn how to read it.
Wow.
I'm not trying to brag.
Teacher's pet. I just saw a tweet here. If you can go back and give a single athlete a clean bill of health for their career, who would you choose
A-Rod.
And why? I knew you were going to go there.
Why wouldn't I, man?
I knew you were going to go there, man.
If anybody says if you can give an athlete $1 billion paycheck, I'm giving it to him. He needs it. He could use it.
So, can A-Rod do any wrong in your eyes?
Yes.
When the biogenesis scandal went down, were you defending him?
No. Trust me, I was heartbroken when A-Rod got caught. First time, a lot. Second time, more frustrated than heartbroken, but still heartbroken.
Okay. All right.
I'm not saying the guy's perfect, but he can do a lot wrong. Yeah, he could beat J-Lo. Like, he could punch her in the face. That would be bad.
That would be bad. I think that could be the last straw for him. I don't know. Barry Bonds?
Clean bill of health for Barry Bonds?
Yeah, man.
He's the home run leader. Single season and
I know,
all-time.
but just like let him redo it and not do steroids. Just let's start from the beginning again, and this time just do it clean all the way through so we can appreciate your greatness, man. Barry Bonds was great before 2001, and people don't give him credit for that shit, and it pisses me off. He was he was a beast, man. He was on his way to be one of the greatest of all times, and he could have ended up still being the greatest of all time had he not done steroids.
Well, how do you think I feel when I have to hear Yankee fans talk shit about A-Rod when the guy won 2 MVPs?
I'm not one of those Yankee fans. I don't understand why Yankees fans give A-Rod shit. The guy was a beast for us.
Yeah.
And he moved over for fucking Derek Jeter, even though he was better than Derek Jeter. I can't complain, man. People need to stop bitching.
Exactly, man. That's exactly.
You okay there?
Yeah, man.
Same thing with Giancarlo Stanton. People give Giancarlo Stanton a lot of shit. And I'm like, yes, I understand that he makes a lot of money. I understand that he was injured for an entire season pretty much last year. But don't you want him to succeed? Don't you want to see the best version of Giancarlo Stanton? Why are you fucking bashing this guy nonstop? Let's rally behind this dude. That's the problem. See, the problem with baseball is this. That hat you're wearing right now represents a team where its fans don't know how to win. When they win, they don't know what to do with themselves. The Yankee fan, in some ways, is worse because they want to win so badly that they almost sabotage themselves because they start fucking booing their best players, which impacts them on the field. They're fucking brats and they want everything, and you can't have everything, Yankee fans. So cut the shit already. Fuck. Sorry, man.
That's why I'm a Bills fan, man. We don't.
I was told to stop cursing by my wife, and I just can't stop, man.
Yeah, I curse a lot too, man. I gotta cut it out, especially since I'm playing video games now too. Again, shit. Just let it out, man.
Sorry. Barry Bonds, 1993 season, 458 on base, 677 slugging. The guy was a fucking beast before steroids. Give him his credit. Put him in the Hall of Fame.
All right, now if you can bring a player back from the dead, like who would you bring back?
That's a hard one. It has to be Babe Ruth.
To play in today's generation?
Back from the dead. Babe.
Actually, you know what? Let me ask a better question. Any player in history to play in today's Major League Baseball today? I'm not going to say A-Rod, because I saw A-Rod already play in this generation.
Bo Jackson, probably.
Bo Jackson's a good one, yeah, man.
He was a beast.
I like it. I'm going to say Roberto Clemente.
Yeah.
Or...
R.I.P.
Who's this guy... Who's the Black Babe Ruth? The guy that they always call the Black Babe Ruth.
Oh, yeah.
Would have been good to see that guy. His name is at the tip of my tongue.
Sammy Swami
Samsonite?
Samsonite?
Nah. Is it true that they're coming out with Ace Ventura 3?
I heard something about that. I don't know how I feel about it, though.
I know, man, because Dumb and Dumber 2 was not... Don't watch it.
I haven't watched it yet. I won't do it.
Watch it. Now that you're home, watch it. You have time to kill.
I thought for a while I thought that I was gonna watch Game of Thrones, and I'm not even gonna bother anymore. What the fuck is his name? John Gibson? Not Bob Gibson. He's
Bob Gibson. No, not Bob Gibson. Bob Gibson was a pitcher.
Something Gibson? Negro Leagues. Let's check out Negro Leagues.
Josh Gibson.
Josh Gibson.
Josh Gibson, known as the Black Babe Ruth. In fact, let's see here.
I'd like to see Sandy Koufax pitching. He's still alive, though.
That's good. Well, it could be alive or dead. Just to play in today's game would be good.
Juan Marichal. I'd like to see Juan Marichal pitch.
It's funny.
I could watch Juan Marichal pitch if I wanted to.
Juan Marichal?
I just like his wind up and that high leg kick. And
in Wikipedia, if you look up Josh Gibson, it says home runs. It has like the little north, like the exponent, the caret.
800 to 1,000.
800 to 1,000.
I would love to watch it. I would have. Yeah, you're right. I would have loved to watch him pitch. And the other dude, that the book was about, the pitcher and the dictator. Oh my God, what was his name? Yo, we are horrible.
Satchel Paige.
He would have been cool to watch too.
So we're all over the place, but I don't care, man, because I got stuff to say, and I know we're trying to wrap this up in a little bit, but I don't watch that many movies anymore because I stopped watching movies around the time that all these Avenger movies were coming out. Mm-hmm. And I felt like at that point, the last three to four movies that I had watched were like Thor, Iron Man 3. And I was just like, man, I am sick of giving 2+ hours because these movies are pretty similar. Mm-hmm. And I'm not feeling it anymore. And it got to a point where I didn't want to have to give, 2 hours, sit there and watch a movie for 2 hours. I'd rather watch like a show or something, even though the time is going to be a lot longer. I'd rather watch a show because the show has like stories, like characters are developed, whatever. So I don't really watch movies anymore, but I try to watch like movies I've already watched here and there. It's because I know I'm going to like it. So basically I have been staying away from watching movies that I have no background knowing about what it's about. And then yesterday, me and my brother woke up and we're just like, you want to watch a movie? It was like 11 a.m. or something in the morning. Not that we had just woken up, but, later on.
Gotcha. I understand.
We decided to watch this movie on Netflix, and I realized like, oh man, I wanted to watch this. It's called The Platform. Look at it. Let's look at the trailer. And the trailer looks, it's whatever. But I'm like, fuck it, man. Let's watch it. That movie made absolutely no sense.
Can't believe you took a chance on that kind of movie, man.
Yeah, and bro, I'm telling you, like, do you want to know what it's about, or are you trying to watch it?
Yeah, I think I saw the picture of it, and I immediately skipped it.
All right, so stop me if I'm dragging this story on too much, but basically, there's levels. It's like a pillar levels, right? There's just like all these different levels and stuff, and there's a square cutout in the middle of each level, and it's you find out that there's 200, no, there's like over 350 levels, right?
Mm-hmm.
And people go there either as a form of punishment, or in this case, the main character's reason for going there was he was going to spend 6 months there in exchange for a degree, like a degree from a college program or something. And basically you're on this level. He starts off like at level 21 or something. And there's this thing that comes down the middle, in the square cutout, and it's filled with food, but it only stays there for like 30 seconds or something. So the people at the top get to eat the best food. But once it passes like 50, there's like no food left. Everybody's being greedy. Everybody eats their own food. If you keep any of the food, they turn up the heat or they turn down the heat, so you're forced to give up the food that you kept. So no food stays with the people, but they get to eat as much as they can get their hands on, basically. And yeah, man, it's pretty much how you expected. Like, they try to teach you the life lessons of, like, I guess, like, how this country is, just stuffing their faces versus people not getting a chance to eat at the bottom. Gotcha. But the way that they showed you that wasn't the way I would have gone about it. And, it goes to a point where people start eating each other. Like,
oh my God.
It's really graphic.
Wow.
It just doesn't make any sense because they show you clips of, like, this restaurant making food 24/7. And they make you think that the top chef is like an important guy, but you never see the guy for the rest of the movie. There's a little baby somewhere in the thing, like at level 333, surviving, mind you, surviving. And then there's like a bottomless pit that you never find out what's lifting the thing up and down. You never find out who owns it, if it's the government. It's just
this is a Netflix movie.
It's a complete waste of time, but you should watch it. But it's a complete waste of time. Maybe you can make sense of it. I don't know. Like
I kind of want to watch it now, but I don't know, man.
It seemed like one of those movies that my dad would like. Because it doesn't have a real story to it.
There's just a lot of shit happening.
Showing you like a guy eating a guy's foot.
Oh my God.
It's stuff like that. It just doesn't really, I don't know, it's all over the place, man.
I finally got around to watching Knives Out, which I didn't get to watch during Oscar season, and that was really good. You should watch it. If you could find a way to watch that for free, watch it. Even if you pay for it, fuck it, pay for it. It's worth it. It's a good movie.
What's that about, by the way?
Knives Out is, I don't know if you ever watched Clue back in the day. It's similar to Clue. It's a murder mystery. It takes place in a house, but it's more modern. And the guy who plays James Bond is in it. He plays a detective, or like a private detective or whatever. It's actually really entertaining. I liked it a lot. It goes by really fast. And I've also been doing a lot of rewatching. I rewatch, like I said, I'm rewatching The Wire. I'm catching up on shows that I haven't watched. Another good thing that people should feel fortunate about going through this, why it should be a little bit easier for people, is that there's a lot of new shows out too. There's The Walking Dead is back, so that's on every week. You have shows like Better Things is pretty good on Hulu. I mean on FX. This Is Us. I'm kind of sick and tired of that shit, but
I never watched that show.
Oh my God, man! I started watching it the first year because of the whole dad story with, my wife liked it, and then now I'm the type of person that if I start watching something, I need to finish it. I don't need to see it all the way through. It's like I want to just stop watching it so bad. Same thing with Walking Dead. I want to stop watching it so bad.
I was just about to say that. I think this is the perfect time for me to get back into Walking Dead because the last time I watched it was like season 6.
It's too much going on, man.
And back to what you were saying, where you watch something and you have to finish it. I was just like that until I watched Dexter, and then I'm like, nah. I need to know I need to trust my instincts and just say I'm okay with this. Yeah, which is why I stopped watching The Walking Dead, but I'm going to probably finish watching it.
The way Dexter ended was bullshit.
The worst.
Man.
And real quick, but before I ask you this, did you ever watch the movie Snatch?
Hell yeah, I love that movie. Guy Ritchie, Brad Pitt.
Yeah, I would figure you like that movie, and I just happened to see it on IMDb.
Great movie.
So I was like, you know what? Man,
you would like that. It's very fast paced.
I watched it.
Oh, you did? Okay, that was a great movie.
Yeah, I like that movie. So the platform has a 7 out of 10 rating in IMDb.
I'm seeing them as 73 Metascore. That's crazy.
Is the 73 good?
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's decent.
You got to watch this movie then, because I need a second opinion. I need to know if I was the only one. I mean, when I watch a movie with my brother, we're on our phones a lot. Maybe I missed a big chunk of the movie.
So, it's a Spanish film.
It is, yeah. It was dubbed. Like Netflix has a English dubbing. Maybe that's why I found it kind of weird. Too,
well, okay. So before this whole coronavirus thing happened, my dad had gotten sick, and I went to go stay with him for a few days, and we started watching Narcos on Netflix, and we watched the movie on Netflix. It was a Spanish movie, but for some reason there was like a narrator or something, and I kept saying like, why this narrator's just telling me everything that's happening in the movie. What happened was my parents had set it to the audio settings to narrate, I guess, for like deaf people or something. So it ruined the whole movie experience for me. Like halfway through, I figured it out, turned it off, and then the movie was fine after that. So maybe it was on some weird setting for you or something. I don't know. I'm gonna check it out, man. Fuck it. This isn't the kind of movie my wife would like. It sounds like it's a horror movie, horror-ish.
Nah. Look at this. User review. However, the ending does not match the expectations. Plot holes are an issue that can be filled with interpretations. But I still think they could have delivered. See, the thing is that there's too many plot holes, man.
It's like called it's called the hoyo, el hoyo in Spanish.
El hoyo, yeah.
I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah, honestly, man, watch it while you're like washing dishes or something. Don't watch it when you're like ready to watch something and be entertained. Just watch it passing by. Don't give it, Tell me what you think.
And then if it's not good, I'm gonna blame you.
Yeah, sure.
Just kidding.
I'll live with that for the rest of my life.
All right, man. I think we've dragged this on long enough.
Hey, man, we beat this so hard. We beat this thing, yeah.
So hopefully I should be all set up here officially tomorrow, and we should start doing we're planning on doing like a nightly YouTube recap of the day or something. I'm thinking of some names. There's 108 stitches in a baseball. Maybe it could be called 108 stitches, but what would the 108 represent? 108 seconds is too short. 90 feet between bases, 360 total, 360 seconds is like 6 minutes. We could do a 6-minute recap.
You did a whole lot of math there, man.
Right? Thank you. We'll figure something out, but we're going to have something for you guys on a regular basis quite soon. And yeah, follow me on Twitter and Instagram at MannyGo3. Follow the Welcome to the Show page on Twitter and Instagram at WT the Show. CT at Hova Mojo. CT.
Peace.
Peace.